Kanana Swami Shakshur Militanya Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So during the last few days, I have been speaking about the first three verses of Srimad Bhagavad-gita, and how in these first three verses, Janmadhyasya Yataha, we are seeing how Krishna is the original everything. So this is the first meditation, which makes the connection with the material world and Krishna. It is therefore a Sambandha mantra, making again a Krishna Sambandha. That connection with Krishna, which we forget, because there's so much distraction in the world. There's so much that just absorbs our mind into small things. Many small things happen, but they happen very intensely. And then these small things are becoming big in our mind, although in reality they're not significant if you look at them from in comparison to the goal of life, the real thing, what's going on. But when a child cries at full volume, then there's no question of remembering the greater universe and all these kinds of things. All these people. Yeah, check. Okay, that's also put down. They understand also English. Alright, so in this way we are Janmadhyasya Yataha Etum Vyat Itartas Chate Swarat Tene Brahma Vidaya Adhikarye Uyanti At Surya. Even the demigods, they get bewildered by the material energy, it is said. So it is very easy to become bewildered by the material energy. So that also happens to us. There's no question of always winning the fight with Maya. That's Maya, when we think, I'll just conquer Maya. Rather, we should never give up the fight. Maya will get a few punches in, for sure. And we'll stand there groggy, but we will not stop. So that's why I like to use the example of the elephant, that sometimes you're on top of the elephant and other times the elephant is on top of you. And that is simply the material energy. What are we going to do? In the scriptures, the material energy is compared to a crocodile, not to an elephant, but to a crocodile. And it is Ganga Devi who descends into this material world riding on a crocodile. So a crocodile is of course a dangerous being. And Maya is riding on this dangerous material energy. Now one can tame many animals, but there is no question of taming a crocodile. There is no such thing as a croc that has become your friend. You can sort of maybe try to make friends with a tiger. You could try. It might work or not. But with a crocodile is basically known to be treacherous, untrustworthy, always untrustworthy. Therefore the material energy can never be trusted. Never can one think, now I'm on top, now I have no problem. That is to say, on our own strength. Not that we, by our strength, are going to conquer Maya. Daivyesu gunamayi mamamaya durachaya amevye prapadyante mayanitam tarantite. That somehow we can overcome this Maya energy of Krishna by taking shelter of him. So our only shelter is chanting Hare Krishna. But then due to Maya, we cannot chant Hare Krishna. Somehow or other. So this is the paradox. What to do? This paradox we are facing. Our only way out of this grip of Maya is chanting Hare Krishna, but due to Maya, we cannot chant Hare Krishna. So there we have to fight. There we have to somehow or other gain the strength to do that. Again and again. And there are times when it's hard. So I was, I got out of this operation, and then to chant, it was very hard, because I was like dizzy, I was very, very slow, and I would fall asleep all the time. So Hare Krishna, and then gone again. And so it took forever to get through the rounds. And it was just the whole day, maybe from when I became conscious around 11 o'clock till 10 at night, I did 7 rounds. And I struggled so much. And then suddenly, at the end, Krishna gave me some mercy, because I tried the whole day. I thought, this day, it doesn't look like I'm going to finish 16 rounds. It really didn't look like it. But then suddenly there was an hour, and it just like, boom, 8 rounds, bang, like normally, like going through them, and then, then it was 15, then that one extra one. That was easy as well. So then, suddenly, everything worked out. I was surprised. But it is like that. Krishna will help us. So many stories also. The story of the devotee who at late night was chanting upstairs in a flat. There was a staircase going down to the front door, and he's on his last rounds. And he fell asleep on the sofa on his 15th round. And then he had a dream. Someone was ringing the doorbell, and he went down the stairs to open it up. And then there was Prabhupada at the door. And he said, "Srila Prabhupada." And Prabhupada said, "Did you finish your rounds?" And then he woke up. So somehow or other, help will come. Help will be there. When we try, Muyanti at Surya, to overcome this illusory energy that even covers the demigods. And then when we become fixed in transcendental consciousness, then again we reconnect with the eternal situation. Everything is coming from Krishna. And we are no longer so agitated. Otherwise, in the material world, upadruta, always agitated. See, if we not chant, if we slow down in chanting or miss rounds or whatever, then gradually we become upadruta, always agitated. Everything is agitating. What is disturbing? Make a list of what is disturbing. And you start number 1, the neighbors, number 2, the government, number 3, the weather, number 2 is like, and finally you come to the number. Everything is agitating. And that's the state where we are upadruta. And it said that is the state, mandusamanda matayo mandabhagi upadruta, that is the normal condition in Kali Yuga. So we are inclined to drift to that stage of being upadruta. Chanting is what can lift us from this. So that is important. The second verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Prujita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirvatsaranam Satam Vegan Vastavam Atra Shivadan Tapam Trayamudadam, Shiva Bhagavate Mahamne, Kim Vapare Ishvara, Sadalvi, Avrudite, Takritivi, Shushuvis, Taksanat. So it is like, it's okay, the kids I can tolerate, you know. I mean, so far, they're okay. Yeah. And there's a loudspeaker over there. Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. The second verse then is speaking about cheating ourselves. We're cheating ourselves when we are looking for simply auspiciousness, when we are only looking for blessings, then we're cheating ourselves. We should really look for pure love of God, nothing else. Blessings are okay, they can lift us up to higher regions, but the ultimate goal must be clear, pure devotional service. We want pure devotional service. So, not that we want to add something auspicious to our life, and I do it, it's the best I can do. No, then we're defeated. See, that is defeatism, where we are defeated. Where we basically say, I cannot, I've already given up. I have not tried for the ideal. And one finds excuses, yes, but for a sannyasi maybe, but that's not for a householder, it is different. No, it's not. We see Prabhupada didn't think it was different. He was a householder. He didn't think it was different at all. Pure devotional service was still his goal. Right? But my wife is not supportive. His wife was definitely not supportive, that's for sure. The kids are not interested. No, the kids were not very interested. So he was a bit alone. I don't get much association. He didn't get much association either. He met a spiritual master, you could count it on the fingers of two hands. Sometimes, for a while, in Allahabad, he had a pharmacy, and then the Gaudiya Math opened a branch there, and then he did get some association, but he was on the road most of the time for the business, on trains, alone. Of course, that gave him a chance to read, but others sleep on trains and eat. That's like the favorite pastime on a train, long 24-hour train journey. What do? You eat 3 times as much as usual, and you sleep 6 times as long as normal. And then the journey becomes very short, and it's tolerable. That is what people do. After they book a sleeper, so that they can sleep the whole way. Yes, that's how Prabhupada, or the environment Prabhupada traveled in. But he read Srimad Bhagavatam. And then in his old age, this was bearing fruit. This reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavate Mahamane Krite Kimpapare Ishvaraha. It fixed his mind completely on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we want to become a pure devotee, then this taking shelter of the Bhagavatam is not just a luxury. It means it has to change the way we think. It has to change our mind. Because otherwise the mind is a problem. See, everyone has a difficult mind, and some even more than others. But who has a mind that is not causing trouble? No one can say. So what to do is to put this transcendental sound vibration in our mind. And then automatically the thoughts of Krishna will emerge. Fragments of Bhagavatam which we have read and heard. When we hear Srila Prabhupada speaking and giving lectures, then we see that his lectures are very faithful to the Bhagavatam. He often gives metaphors, examples from the Bhagavatam. And then, how is this possible? It just simply means that he spent a lot of time reading it, absorbing it, until it became part of his memory world. It was in there and it was just emerging because just over and over this same Bhagavatam in his mind. So this is indeed how we must read Bhagavatam, getting absorbed in the Bhagavatam. And it must be done in a non-envious way, in a way of appreciating the Bhagavatam as mercy. And that we can do. And then, Nigamakalputara Kalitam Phalam Sukhamukhat Amritadrava Samyutam. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic literature. It is the ripened fruit of all the Vedic literature, which has been brought down by Sukadeva Goswami, who's like the parrot, and who has touched the fruit with its beak, and then it became sweeter, and therefore, Muhur Ahur Rasika Bhuvi Pavukaha, and therefore it brings us so much transcendental taste. So then transcendental taste comes, one begins to discover, and this is ultimately required. So now it goes beyond Sambandha. In the first verse there was Sambandha. In the second verse we see a process. Take shelter of the Bhagavatam, we see Abhideya. And then finally in the third verse we see Rasika Bhavuvaha. We see Prayojana. We see the ultimate goal, being absorbed in a loving relationship with Krishna. So in these three first verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are seeing Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. And we see how these three stages of Krishna consciousness are manifest there. And then ultimately, yes. So the whole Bhagavatam, we're making Sambandha. We're finding out what is Krishna Tattva. First beginning to understand, like we were every morning reading like Tattva from the second canto, descriptions about how the different elements come into being, and then how also the senses come into being. First there is sound, and in ether there is sound, and then there is also the ear that manifests, and the capacity to hear. Then there's air, there's also touch, sound and touch, and then we can see how skin begins to manifest, and gradually the whole form begins to manifest, and we get all the senses by which we can perceive transcendental knowledge. There's form, there's taste, there's smell, and we can fully relate with the material energy. So we have been discussing this is all tattva. This is all about understanding the nature of Krishna, the complexity of Krishna. We don't say Krishna is God. We say He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, it's quite a mouthful if you think about it. That's not just God, yeah? Godheit, yeah? What is Godheit? What is Godheit in Krishna? What does that mean, Godhead? Right? Well, it means that He has many features to His nature, Godhead. It means He is Ishvara Parama Krishna, He's the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it also means that He has all these energies. Jnana Bala Kriyacha, Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Suryate. It said Krishna and His energies. Yes. The knowledge potency, Bala, His power, all benefit comes from Him, all Kriya comes from Him. So in this way we see various aspects come from Kriya, from Krishna. All the good comes from Krishna. There's no question of getting anything good without Krishna. There's no Kriya without Krishna. There's no benefit. You win the lottery, you get $1 million, there is no benefit. Of course, there was one devotee. His mother came, and he was not initiated yet. Well, he'd been a devotee. He was aspiring for Indra Maharaj, and then his mother bought him a lottery ticket. So he says, no, we can't do this, this is gambling. She said, no, I bought it for you, I'm giving it to you, and if you don't want it, you can just throw it away. And she left him. And he was thinking, yeah, well, if I throw it away, what if I win? I will never forgive myself. You know what I mean? If I just throw it away and I would win, that would be too much. He said, so I just keep it, but I put it in the Bhagavad-gita, and if I win, then I'll give it all to Krishna. Then he won $1 million. He put it in the Bhagavad-gita and won $1 million. Australia, $1 million. Whoa, what do I do now? So he had on the dark night of the soul, you know what I mean? There was a little bit of a dark night of the soul where he was alone with the devil, but you know, eventually he overcame that devil and surrendered to the lotus feet of Indrajuna Maharaj, and the $1 million went not all to Indrajuna Maharaj, some went to the temple, and some went to Indrajuna Maharaj. And Indrajuna Maharaj called him Atmanivedandas, you know, the one who surrenders mind, body and soul. The one who surrenders $1 million, in other words. It was interesting. It was an interesting ceremony. I happened to be there at the time. It made an impression. Anyway, so yes, we are somehow or other trying to make that connection with Krishna stronger, and then we have to surrender. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjana, to accept what is favorable, to reject what is unfavorable, and that is what surrender means. And that takes strength of character. Yeah, that means you have to have a certain ability to do it. Right? I'm just going to reject what is unfavorable and to accept what is favorable. And those who are weak in mind control, weak in sense control, basically weak in determination, such people like, to accept what is favorable is so difficult. I mean, like, to do all these things is so hard. And, to give up what is unfavorable, but some of these things are actually really, they're just part of our lifestyle. They have been for so long, and how can we live without them now? So difficult. So this kind of weakness stops us from progressing. Then we remain kanista. And kanista spends all his time, his whole life, a kanista, a weak devotee, one who is of weak determination, can spend a whole life to make the connection. It's like a broken wire. The wire is not properly connected. And there's all this, we always have that in Hare Krishna temples where the sound system has like the loose wire connection. And I get all kinds of noises, and then the sound disappears, and then it's back again. And then somebody local who's expert wiggles the wire, and then it works again. Right? Especially in India, they can go on like this forever. No problem. There's always someone who knows how to sort of, and it's like, same like you have these locks, that no one can open, these old locks, and you have to sort of pull the key, turn the key, push the key, and then somehow or other the door will open. Right? No thief can even open that door. Right? It's impossible. Anyway, these kind of things, exist everywhere. And in India, and of course in Eastern Europe, these things exist in many forms. Even Ostdeutschland has a few of these kind of things, In India you have the water tap, and you have to just somehow or other, you try to close the tap, and it keeps on turning. You turn it closed and it doesn't stop, it keeps on turning. You have it in Czech also sometimes. Yes, it keeps on turning. And then to actually get it to a point where the water stops, you have to sort of find that stop. And anybody local can do it. Right? Just do it and it works fine. And any foreigner, it's just like 10 minutes trying, any outside, 10 minutes trying to get the right position. Oh my God. It's really tough. That's when you want to go to Germany, where it's a tap, and it's just you open it, and water comes, and you close it, and it just closes, and the train, it's like, it's announced. You have to get out on the right side. In no country in the world will they tell you which side of the train you have to get out. You have to actually, believe it or not, Germans, you have to look out of the window. Is this the platform? It looks pretty low. Is this the platform? I reckon this is it. Yes. Like this. And yeah, sometimes you stand even in front of the wrong door. That's completely ärgerlich, isn't it? You know, you want to be the first at the door, to be the first one out, and they didn't tell you which door it was, and you stood in front of the wrong door. Very annoying. Happens all the time in other countries, not in Germany. Yeah, so we come sometimes to Germany for some relief, you know. Everything works. It's very nice. The windows, in the winter there's no cold air coming through the windows if you don't want it. In every other country, the storm can blast in through the windows, although they are closed. Anyway, back to the Bhagavatam. So, anukulyasya sankalpa, that what is favorable we must accept, pratikulyasya varjanam, what is unfavorable we must reject. So in this way, we have to have determination. Determination is partially due to character, partially due to previous life. Some people, they have determination from previous life, then also from this life. Upbringing also helps. In a good upbringing, then determination is strengthened. But even in one family, we see that one has more determination than the other. So there is some karma involved there, something from previous life. Anyway, that is good, but that's not all. Our determination is strengthened by association of Vaishnavas. I was always, amongst my friends, a little bit the one who was on the spiritual side. And I went to India and all these things and visited all kinds of spiritual places, spiritual people, so I thought I was quite spiritual. Usually, I was more spiritual than most of the people I was with. But that changed when I met the devotees. You know, for the first time I met people who were a bit too spiritual for me. Usually, people were not spiritual enough. But these Hare Krishnas, you know, they were a bit too spiritual, if you know what I mean, you know. I mean, come on, you know. Well, okay. I had to pull my socks up, as they say in English. I had to sort of come up, raise my standards. I had to become more serious. Just by seeing that example, seeing that there were people who were more serious than me, sort of made me feel a little, okay, I should try a bit more. I should really try more. In that way, the association, it challenged me. Prabhupada's books also, they also are written in a way that it explains systematically how the Bhagavad-gita is the truth, and then Prabhupada will continue and say, so if you accept that this is the truth, then you have to surrender. And he just keeps on hammering on that until finally, and then he says things like, if you want to call yourself sincere, then you have to surrender. And if you don't surrender, you're not sincere. Now, I didn't like that so much because I always thought of myself as sincere. So I cannot just say that I was reading Prabhupada's books and then one day I just got the realization that like it's so nice and it's so inspiring. No, I didn't just think they were nice. They were rather attacking me, these books. They were attacking me. These books were too much, but I couldn't deny them. And they just gave me guilt feelings. how can I ever call myself sincere again if I don't surrender? And how can I live with myself if I'm not sincere? I have to look in the mirror every day and say, you rat, you're not even sincere. And I can't tolerate this. This is too much. I always thought of myself as spiritual and sincere, and now this Bhagavad-gita is spoiling all the fun. This destroys my whole self-concept here that I built up carefully over all these years. What to do? I don't want to surrender. No, please, no, I don't really want to surrender. How do I avoid this? And Prabhupada just systematically cornered us until we just had to do it. So, okay, I don't know, I guess, maybe, no. Should I really then get involved with the Hare Krishnas of all people? No. I always thought spirituality was okay, but Hare Krishna was extreme. It was just too much, these guys. Fanatics. So in this way, I decided, no, I think I'll find another house. Something a little more normal. Something not so extreme. Okay, vegetarian is okay, but celibacy is a bit too much, and other things like with clothes a bit too much. That clay on your nose a bit too much. Something a bit more normal. I thought, but no. Prabhupada had kept on hammering. And that's what he said, that was his technique. He'd find the weak spot and keep on hammering on it until someone would crack. So that's how the books work. Yeah, that's how we crack. And then, but that can take a long time, and the kanista means, ka means weak, and nista means determination, weak determination. Can take a whole life, can take many lives. Lives of kanista. Life of staying weak. So yes, we have to, at one point, by association, strengthen our determination. First of all, by association. Then by practice, by regular practice. You do it regular. So by the regularity, that helps. You build a good habit. Then when the good habit is there, that supports, and then determination gets stronger, purified, then finally, okay, I'm going to do it. Fix our mind, say I'm going to do it, and then do it. That's Madhyamadikari. Madhya means when you say you'll do it, you'll do it. As simple as that. Yeah, so, and Bhagavatam then tells us what to do, how to do. Gives us the role models, gives us the examples of all the great personalities. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni, written by Mahamuni Vyas. And we are in this way getting uplifted. And it takes us to the 10th canto, and we understand there the process. Like for example, the word mercy, there are different words used for mercy in the scriptures. Sometimes the word daya, which means oftentimes just a general flow of mercy. Kripa means a general flow of mercy, but sometimes also personal. Please give me kripa. Give me this kripa. Give me this mercy. But in the 10th canto, mercy is no longer daya or kripa. In the 10th canto, with the residents of Vrindavan, mercy has become prasad. The word for mercy used in the 10th canto is prasad. Because they see everything as prasad, everything as remnants of the Lord. Everything is mercy of the Lord. So in this way they are perceiving, this is the mercy of the Lord. It's all the mercy, it's all prasad, it's all the mercy of the Lord. And prasad is prasidati, that which can give you a complete satisfaction. Complete satisfaction. So there we are going deep into prayojana. So Bhagavatam, in all the descriptions, takes us from tattva, takes us to abhideya, to the example of the various Vaishnavas who attain perfection and how they attain perfection, and to the Mahajans, finally to Prayojana, to the transcendental world, where the world of mercy, which is the world of prasad. Savai pumso parodamo yato bhaktiya dokshajaya haitaki apatiyata yatma suprasidati. Suprasidati. So prasidati, prasad, prasidati is in this word, which means fully satisfied, and then suprasidati is even a reinforcement, so it's like fully, completely satisfied. Pra means prakrishta rupena, in its full form. Su then means multiplied, so fully or stronger, extra strong, fully satisfied, something like that, suprasidati. So that is prasad. So this comes already, this element of the 10th canto already comes in the first canto. So all throughout the Bhagavatam, we're seeing how again and again we are taken from, we make our sambandha more firm, we go through the abhideya, through the purification, where we make commitment with strong determination, madhyamadhikari, and then, yes, we begin to relish. Like Srila Prabhupada said, that Srimad Bhagavatam is 1% for purification and 99% for relishing. Vayam tu navityapyamo uttama sloka vikrame yat sringatam rasa jnanam svadu svadu pati pati, saying that actually at every step, svadu svadu, relishing these transcendental descriptions, because they are perfectly pure and they are just elevating us. They are lifting us up above the disturbance from the material world, above the distraction, above the material energy which is aggressive and is attacking us and somehow or other trying to take us away from transcendence. The Bhagavatam, every word brings us back and makes us progress in sambandha, abhideya, and priyavajana. So, therefore, somehow or other, our discussions in the morning brought me back to these first 3 verses of Bhagavatam. Some of you may not have heard all that, so I thought I should summarize it. Plus, in English, in German, I have to keep one corner of my mind for the language, and then the rest is for philosophy. In English, I don't have to do that. No corners reserved. It's just, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth. Whereas in German, I sort of think about how to say it, what I'm going to say. So there's a difference. So in this way, I could fill it in maybe a little bit more complete. Then any questions or comments? No? Yeah.
I was wondering if one doesn't have much association of serious devotees or pure devotees or whatever, and that not so much. For example, is it also okay to have association by listening to lectures or to watching festivals? Like, I don't know, I do this, but I'm not sure if it's, for example, I watch Hare on internet, but is this...
What's wrong with it? I do it too. I also do that, and I also associate the personality with the acharyas by finding out what they do. And I'm sitting in these planes between all these mundane people who have big plates of stinking meat right next to me, and it's just a foul smell. Or when you start to serve out the meals, the whole plane stinks. You sit there, like disgusting. And there, the lady next to me takes fish, and oh God, stink, and then someone else goes with the chicken, and I'm sitting between chicken and fish. And once I was on Swiss Air, which is supposed to be such a good airline, and the lady comes, the stewardess, and she pushes this meal in my face, and she goes, beef or chicken? And I was saying, I want a parachute, and I want to jump off this plane, It's just too much. It stinks, right? Please. So who gets the association? Who gets it? They always lament, it's me, poor me. But I don't know how much we get. And then, you're a sannyasi and you're finished with so many things, right? Then you have no more interest in marriage and in relationships and in sexuality. And then all day long you have to hear from people who have marriage problems. It's like, and I tell you everything, they chew your ear, about their marriage problems and how they suffer of not being married or of being married, and how they want to be married or how they don't want to be married, how the husband's treating the wife or how the wife is treating the husband, or the problems with the kids and all these things, and thinking, I don't have all these problems. Right? I don't have these problems. So it's okay, but where's my association then? Where is it then? Where's the association of the people who also don't have these problems? My spiritual master, when he gave me sannyas, he said, sannyasis wave at each other from planes. I said, how often we'll see each other. Sannyasis wave at each other from planes. So, it's short and sweet, So, Madhavendra Puri was in Krishna praying. Madhavendra Puri was walking around in the world, and Madhavendra Puri never found anybody in the world who had the same love he had. He felt alone on the planet. Where was his association? One day he finally met Nityananda, who was having the same level of love of God that he had. Well, that was an ecstatic meeting. But for the rest of his life, he never had an association with someone on his level. So he's always associating with people who are more materialistic than him. But it never disturbed him, he just stayed internal. And somehow or other he found his internal nourishment. Prabhupada would sit alone at night, writing the purports. What did he do? He said, Prabhupada, these purports were his ecstasies, isn't it? Yes, that meant he was associating with Krishna. He was relishing. This is the time. The world may be in Maya, the world may be asleep, but me, no, I take this opportunity when it's quiet to relish and to just associate with Krishna, and what nectar is here, what ecstasy, and write it down for these people of the world as well, dictated in the dictaphone, and somehow or other go on, and then be completely nourished. And then in the day, again, absorb all these mundane energies from all these mundane people, but because of being so full by drinking this transcendental sound, this transcendental knowledge, these mundane things could not enter. There's no space in the consciousness. They bounce right out because it's full, like a hole that is filled with bricks and stones and rocks, and then with sand, with little stones in between, and then sand and so on. Nothing can go in, it's full. You try and throw another stone in, it bounces off. Apuryamanam achala pratistamapa samudra pravisanti tatvat kamaya pravisanti sarve sasanti apnomina kama kami, that all these rivers of material influences cannot enter my consciousness because it's full of Krishna. Therefore, wherever there is Krishna in a direct form, wherever is Tadiya, wherever there is the devotee, wherever there is transcendental substance. This morning I was referring to Tulsi because I've just been reading some verses and how if you touch the earth at the roots of Tulsi, that you are no longer a human being. If you touch the earth from the roots of Tulsi, put it on your head, you're no longer a human being. You have become a demigod. Okay, that's halfway there. On the way, yes. And Yamaraj, he cannot even see you anymore. I know this man, he did many plays about Yamaraj, in Czech, many. He's a professional actor. And when he runs down, he can be on the ground and run down a spiral staircase. And you can really see him running down the spiral staircase. He's running on the ground, but in circles. But he's going down the spiral staircase, down to hell probably, where Yamaraj is there to pass the last judgment. But he cannot even see you when you've taken the dirt from the roots of Tulsi, put on your hand. Well, little things. So, yes, take it, go find that. You have Tulsi at home, don't forget, eat Tulsi leaf. One Tulsi leaf. Yes, tremendous power. Of course, a Vaishnava will always offer the Tulsi first to Krishna, will not be interested in a leaf that has not been offered to Krishna. So it's all Hare Bhakti Vilas. Whole chapter dedicated to Tulsi. It's Hare Bhakti Vilas. You can read it. I was reading it this morning. Nice chapter. Enjoyed it. So in this way, let us do these things, wherever it is. We hear, we read, yes. Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj made these nice videos about Vrindavan. He's good at it. He's really good at it. He does Vrindavan, he does, he did Govardhan, he did the Astasaki villages. I'm watching those. And it inspired me to take you to these villages. Then I thought, hey, I should also go to these villages. And then I went to a few more villages, and now I'm going to all kinds of villages these days, and where even his movies didn't go, and there are nice villages there. So, yes, watch. This is all Krishna, who is hiding. I was saying this week about the Pokemons, right? And how we always have to look for a Pokemon. Have you ever tried to find a Pokemon? You have. You find Pokemons in the most strange places. Right? Unexpectedly, suddenly, you're looking at your phone just like she's doing right now, and then there might be a Pokemon right here in the temple. Who knows, right? Did you see anyone? Any Pokemons yet?
I don't know how they look like.
Oh, but if you see a Pokemon, you'll know it's a Pokemon. Huh? Anyway, so the point is, as we can look for Pokemons, we should look for Tadiya. Everywhere Tadiya. We can make a Krishna conscious app, Tadiya, and we're looking everywhere for Tadiya. Something that is connected with Krishna. Tulsi leaf, hey, okay, take that. That's one down, from Krishna's feet. Pretty good. What else? Internet, okay, ugly net, but full of transcendental stuff. Let me take some. No, I will not click on that casino button. No, not that one. No, I will just look at my computer is Krishna conscious.
My computer is Krishna conscious.
Yes. As simple as that, yeah. That's the answer, Make your computer a devotee, right? We forget. We become devotees, but we forget to make our phones and computers devotees. Make your phone, make your computer a devotee. And by making them a devotee, yes, then you have association. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Then these phones start to give you association. Even the computer, the beast, right, suddenly begins to bring you all kinds of wonderful things. Nectar, starts to flow out of that computer. It's amazing. In this way, yes, all these things are filled with tadiya. And let us look for more tadiya. And of course, it doesn't mean that we don't want living people, that we don't want to sometimes embrace a Vaishnava or touch the feet of a Vaishnava. How can we replace that? So we gotta find some Vaishnavas also, touch their feet, bring them, sit at their feet, hear from them, all these things. And surely, there's a festival, it costs money, takes time, but somehow or other, we gotta do it, because we depend on these things. Oh, Vrindavan, I haven't been 20 years in Vrindavan. Oh my God, you're almost dead. 20 years, you haven't been in Vrindavan, you haven't lived for 20 years, what's going on? A ghost existence, how come you're not going to Vrindavan? What misfortune. Krishna puts the spiritual world in the material world, and we go, it's so far, it's so expensive, because, all the way you have to go to the spiritual world, it's so far. I don't think I can go to the Holy Dham, we don't have the money, And Krishna takes the trouble of putting it in the material universe, in this one. In this universe right now, we have this whole Holy Dham and everything, and what are we doing about it? Well, I've been 10 years ago, I've been once. Once. Okay. It's like, I had sweet rice once. Imagine you would say that. Imagine there would be a Hare Krishna who would say, I had sweet rice once. What would the others say? What? Once? Only once? You can't believe it, isn't it? So, and the Holy Dham is so much better than sweet rice. It is very sweet, and there are many, many tastes, many varieties of tastes. So, chalo yar, chalo, Vrindavan, chalo. Yes, let us go soon. So whatever. So it doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come easy for nobody. But when we're eager to somehow or other find the tadiya, these connections with Krishna, through devotees, through places, through books, to whatever, then we'll stay alive. Like I went to Bangkok in the days when there was no temple in Bangkok. And I went with my former wife at the time, and we come to the airport, and one man comes to me and says, you want go? I said to him, look, I'm here with my wife, right? Please, you want go. And he goes, you want go, boy? This is too much, right? Okay, let us stay in a hotel. I stay in a hotel, and this girl comes to the door to ask me if I need some massage. She's like, it was getting a bit much, So those are the days there were no devotees. But somehow or other we had the address of one Indian, right? One Indian man. So we went there, and it was a shop. And we were wearing karmi clothes. We come into the shop, and we say, Hare Krishna. He looks at us and says, wait. So we're waiting in front of his counter of the shop. He goes to the back, and then above the counter somewhere, he suddenly pulls some curtain open, and the Govindam tape begins to play. And there are deities there, and we're standing in the shop. Govindam, Adipurusha Tamaha Bhajami. And it was nice, you know. It was just nice. There was a devotee there in this crazy Bangkok go-go boys and go-go girls, you know. There was Krishna, there was Govinda, Adipurusha. It was just nice and pure and transcendental, right? Like this, you know, when we take the trouble to find a devotee, what treasures are these devotees? What treasure houses they have? Let's go there. These devotees are like wish-fulfilling cows. Let's milk them. Yes. It says that, what is it again? Sarvupanishanu kavo dukta gopalanandana Parta Vatsa, and then who was the Bhakta? Someone Bhakta, and then Gitam Ritam Mayat. I forgot one word. Not the Bhakta, it was the Bhakta. The Sudhir Bhakta. Sudhir Bhakta, the wise man was the Bhakta, the enjoyer. So Arjuna became Krishna. Of all the herd, of the whole herd, of the Upanishads, Krishna became the milkman. And Arjuna became the calf. And the wise person became the enjoyer of the milk. So it was like this. Devotees are like Surabi cows. We should milk them. We should milk them and see like what we can get out of them. What nectar they have hidden. Something they have. Kuch, kichu. Kichu, akshitu. Or something. Like this. Yes. Let us look at the internet. Let's look wherever we can. Let's find those transcendental Pokemons. Anywhere. More?
You were saying before how Prabhupada was in very unfavorable position and he wasn't having association with his wife and so many things. And imagine this example when some may say, yeah, but I'm not like Prabhupada, I'm not Shakti Vaishnava, I'm not this, I'm not that.
Yeah. Still, yes, Prabhupada did something extraordinary even in his household life. He took shelter of Krishna, although the conditions were not favorable. But we are not Shakti Vaishnava, we are not pure devotees. Yes, but Sato Vritti is, we cannot imitate, we cannot be like them, but we must follow in the footsteps of the pure devotees. We must try and follow as much as we can their example. So we should also, Prabhupada read the Bhagavatam as a householder, we should also read it. We should also read it. Prabhupada didn't have much association but kept Krishna in the center. We should also do it. Prabhupada tried to do something to preach. We should also do something to preach. He tried to make back to Godhead. You can make a zine on the net. Make a blog. You know, I mean, you can do it. Man, if you're all alone, living all alone in an ivory tower, never had any association at all, being all alone, no devotees, I'm rotting. Now, how am I going to deal with this? Or make a zine, make a blog, make a site, Oh yes, Facebook face value. Well, I don't know. If Krishna is there, it's no longer just shallow. See, Facebook, pretty shallow, big friend, thumbs up, smiley, that's all pretty shallow. Yeah. Emoticons. If the world goes to the emoticons, then our emotional life is not very deep, that's for sure. But, if we put transcendental things there, then it's power, then it's fully potent. Doesn't matter whether it's in a computer or not. The holy name is the holy name. Transcendental knowledge is transcendental knowledge. So when transcendental knowledge hits us via the internet, it's got full power. Just as Prabhupada showed that, see, there are people, Prabhupada used to initiate people in second initiation by giving the Gayatri Mantra on a tape. He sent a Brahmin thread that he had chanted on, and he would give a cassette, and they would listen to Prabhupada and hold it to the right ear, and then they were initiated by Prabhupada in the Gayatri Mantra. So some Indian sadhus are saying this is not bona fide, because it says that the mantra must be spoken by the guru in the ear, and therefore you are not initiated, said to Prabhupada's disciples. They're not actually bona fide. It's not a bona fide initiation. How about that? So no, because in the Bhagavatam it also says that when the Vyasadeva was going into the forest looking for Sukadeva who had left, and Vyasadeva called out into the forest for his son, and then the trees, they were also calling out, they were echoing, my son, my son, my son. So it said that was the voice of the tree. So whenever the holy name is chanted and the echo comes of the trees, that counts as the chanting of the trees. So echo also counts. So a recording is just echo. So, and Prabhupada started recordings. And Prabhupada recorded the holy name and just put it out there wide in the world. And it changed people. Prabhupada convinced George Harrison, I really want to see you, Lord. Hare Krishna, Hallelujah, Krishna, Krishna. Mix it up. And everybody got it. It changed and made so many devotees. My sweet Lord, it changed the way, made it bona fide. Overnight, Hare Krishna was okay, because George Harrison did it, so then it was okay. Whatever he did, no one could laugh at you. If George Harrison did it, no one in the world could say, this is weird. No, it wasn't. You are weird, George Harrison is doing it, Who are you, Are you with the times or what, Are you behind? What? You don't know? George is doing this. Come on, it's okay. It's cool. Hare Krishna. He made it cool overnight. Okay, we could do it without being socially condemned. It was great. So he liberated us from all these social condemnation. So in this way, the media are fantastic. But I don't know if I said it, if the latecomers here heard that, so maybe I'll say it again. But one thing you have to do, you have to make your phone and your computer a devotee. So that means your phone and computer has to follow the four regulated principles. That means there can be nothing on your phone or on your computer that doesn't follow the four regulated principles. And because then, once you make your computer and your phone a devotee, then you'll have devotee association. See? Yeah, it's easy. It's very convenient. Any other questions?
Maybe I'm very wrong. Bali Maharaj was raised as a demon. He was a demon. He was very, amongst the demons. Bali Maharaj.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
And
he was raised as a demon amongst the demons.
Still at the point, he surrendered.
Yeah,
because he had a seed. It's written here, the seed from his grandfather.
Yeah, because he met his grandfather also, although he was raised to the demons. Grandfather was always absorbed in transcendence, so grandfather wasn't so much.
So what about us, or grandfathers, let's say Prabhupada?
Yeah, you got to see. Prabhupada said, I created your pious activities, so you got a seed from your grandfather. And your father is not a demon like Prahlad's father, or Bali Maharaj's father. Bali Maharaj's father was, what was his name now? Virochana, that's right. So Virochana was a complete demon. Virochana is the one who's chosen on behalf of the demons to go to Prajapati, to go to Brahma, together with Indra, to ask what's the goal of life. And Brahma says, the goal of life is to enjoy the senses to the fullest. And Virochana said, I've always known it. And he went back and he told the demons and they were very happy. Indra thought, no, I've tried this, but it didn't work. There must be more. So Indra waited before more spirit. Then later Indra heard transcendental knowledge. So Virochana was not of great help to Bali Maharaj. He didn't get much good from his father. He didn't get much good from his society, but he did get something from his spirit, from his grandfather. And then, but his knowledge was not complete. When he wanted to conquer the heavenly planets, he wanted to conquer. He really wanted to conquer, and his spiritual master was confusing him. Bali Maharaj had been killed by the demigods, but Sukracharya revived him. He did a big yajna, created a powerful chariot and a shining armor, and then he went up and conquered the heavenly planets. Then he's sitting there, Vamana is coming, all right, my young boy, please, what can I do for you? Oh, give me 3 steps. 3 steps, my boy, take a planet or something, what's 3 steps? Be careful, you're young, ask for something appropriate. So he was a bit in Maya at that moment. He was in Maya. But when it came to the crunch, right, then he made the right choice. So he had the good fortune of Prahlad's blessings, but he didn't have the culture of transcendental knowledge. We have the culture of blessings, we have the culture of Oka, of Bhagavatam, we have the culture of temples all over the world, we have the culture of devotee association. You come now from Czech, I guess, and here you are in Germany, and guess what is there? A temple. And all you have to do is sort of say, is there some prasad? And even if you don't say it, it will probably sooner or later manifest, because that's what temples are about. So we've got it easy compared to Bali Maharaj. So he's a Mahajan because he made that choice, that he's a great soul. We are not Mahajans or Mahatmas, we are small souls, but with a lot of mercy. Then we can still do it. Even we can. Something like that, no? I'm thinking. What do you think?
Sometimes we choose the wrong things to do.
We do. Yes, not many times.
Yeah.
We choose the wrong things to
But
do.
there was this turning point for him. He chose the right thing.
Yes, yes.
Because he had a seed from his grandfather. But
Yes.
why don't we choose the...
Because he obviously was a great soul who had been placed in this arrangement, even from previous life, to have this great-grandfather, and he had the greatness that he could take advantage of it. We are getting all the transcendental knowledge 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times, still not taking advantage of it, still dragging our feet. But fortunately, we don't have one grandfather, we have like a whole movement of devotees, and even when you try to forget the Hare Krishna movement, it's hard. I tried. In my earlier days, I tried hard to forget the Hare Krishna movement. So I left the temple, and I went to the movies. And then in the movies, there were Hare Krishnas. It's like I tried to be in Maya, and there's a Hare Krishna in the movie. But there was something wrong. The tilak was wrong. Yeah, so I said, what is this? Then these Hare Krishnas, they sat down at a bar and they ordered some beer and some girls sat on their laps and it said, it's good to have a drink after a hard day's work. And I thought, demons, how dare they? And I was back with Hare Krishna. What to do? So, Krishna makes arrangements. For us it's hard to escape because Hare Krishna is everywhere. They're all over the place. You try, if you anywhere on the planet, Hare Krishna is there. Narayan Maharaj, he was thinking he wanted to go and preach in a place where, in a fresh place and do pioneering preaching. So he looked at the world map and he chose New Guinea. And he came to New Guinea and he reached in a hotel. And when he came there, the man behind the counter was reading Prabhupada's book. It's not so easy to find a place where there is no Krishna consciousness. Even if there are people who say, never heard of Krishna. But before you know it, the Harinam party comes around the corner. Oh my God. Here they are again. Yeah.
Maharaj, can you please give us some tips and hints how to study properly Bhagavatam and get it solved?
How to properly study Bhagavatam and so on. Well, tips. Depends on our life, first of all, Depends on how much time we have. Not everybody has. So according to our time, we have to approach the Bhagavatam a different way. People that have no time, they should at least put the Bhagavatam open on the table and read one verse and one purport every day. Everyone can do that. You just put the book there, read one verse and one purport. Can be done. Cannot say I'm too busy for that. It's just a matter of, no, I don't want to do this. You see, if you're not too, you can do it. Even if it's late at night, it's 11 o'clock, you can still read one verse, one purport, and then go to sleep. So that is always possible. So in this way, we are, depending on our time. If we have time, okay, then we can study the Bhagavatam in a systematic manner. Various devotees have developed systems. Burijan Prabhu has done a lot of good work because what he did is he saw a number of verses deal with one topic and then the next group of verses deal with another topic. So he made it into groups like that. So you get an overview of what is there. Others, they look at main themes that exist in the Bhagavatam, and Rasamandal did it like that, recognize main themes. So there are different ways one can study and use the study methods of these experienced devotees who are good teachers, like Burijan is a teacher, a curriculum writer for Gurukul. He was writing the books, the school books. And that's his thing, so he knows how to take a subject and teach it. So, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can read. Some people don't have time to study, they just read the Bhagavatam. If you don't have time to study systematically and do overviews and outlines and summaries and all this analysis, if you don't have time for this, then what I recommend is you just read it, and when you see something that is nice, a point that's nice, note it down in a notebook. And if you keep on doing this, then at the end, when the notebook is full, then you have a notebook full of things that you like. See? So in this way, you get a notebook full of nectar. So that system is nice. Just write down whenever you find something nice. It's one way of study. studying a little less involved than overviews, analysis, outlines, summaries, genealogical table of all the speakers of the Bhagavatam, you know, who is actually speaking, and it's a story within a story, and like, you know, graphically displayed. Narayani did a lot of work, Bhagavatam at a glance, in that way, you know what I mean? You can, Then you can do the background stuff, you can read like up on all the personalities in the Bhagavatam, in other Puranas and so on, or other scriptures, all Mahabharata, all these personalities, check them out. You can look in the, and you can look in the commentaries of the Acharyas. So you can study for a lifetime and go deeper and deeper and deeper. Then you can read of all the books that are relating to the Bhagavatam. There are many books that are in support of the Bhagavatam or expansions of the Bhagavatam. You can read them too. Plenty of ways to study the Bhagavatam for a lifetime. Okay, I'm running out of steam now. Thank you. Nice to see all these devotees here. So, already Thursday. Okay, so thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada.
Ich wollte das Kadamba Kanana Swami.